We crawled out of hell with a clear objective. The king gave us a paper with his royal seal, and the navy gave us a vessel. 4 towers to fix the veil between worlds. As we boarded the ship, we saw a familiar face. Tyrus, the Flame Knight!
Not you again.
Buddy, pal, am I glad to see you. The fate of the world is at stake.
You're joking.
Nope. You don't have lungs. How?
I can't leave you to do this yourselves. World will be dead in a heartbeat.
You also don't have a heartbeat. How did it? So we boarded the vessel and set out. Our paladin took the role of captain with glee, despite being rather shoddy at military action. At least the crew liked him, and they were ready for the call to arms when pirates assaulted us. Kobolds left from the enemy's mass using these odd glider contraptions I'd never seen before. I shot one out of the air, and the water where he landed turned a diluted red. Tyrus killed any that boarded as the warlock conjured a wave of fire so extreme the ship fell in an instant. I forgot the exact number, but we recruited the surviving kobolds. I also claimed a set of their wings. I insisted that they were slaves, but for some reason the druid called them employees despite our lack of funds to pay them. Between you and me, I think the druid saw them as some sort of adopted children. You know how elves are. The island containing the first ancient tower was easy enough to find. In the front of the tower, a lizard hulk sat on a stone. Sitting, he was still twice my height, which made the cleric vestments he wore a surprise. Hey, you may want to clear the area. We're about to approach the tower.
What about the golem?
Kinda have to do it regardless.
Sounds like you don't have a plan.
No plan survives getting hit in the face.
Are you sure these are the ones? Threat.
Hey, I have mastery of very advanced arcane techniques.
I'm not impressed.
He informed us the tower was in honor of Sanctus and Cain, meaning it absorbed radiant and fire damage. As the combat began, I muttered words of power, turning my arrows orange with flame. Cracks in the tower mended as the arrows struck, in addition to the damage of my companions. The Velocipastor, as we had taken to calling him, conjured spirits around himself, the radiant strength healing both the tower and, unfortunately, the golem. He took a sharp blow to the head as the last of the tower's damage faded. The party ran, but I didn't want to leave behind our new ally. I stole the paladin's last healing potion off his belt and ran to help the lizard folk. As his barely breathing mouth choked down the red ooze, I saw a mighty fist rise over my head. Dying to a golem while saving the world would be an acceptable fate, I told myself, though I didn't want to die. Then the scaled one's eyes snapped open. With magic haste, he grabbed me and sprinted away. Sure, it's a good thing we had that potion. Our last healer never returned from hell.
I can heal myself.
You were unconscious.
I think I'd know if I were unconscious.
I ran back for you. Surely that's worth something.
I'm not impressed.
On the ride to the next tower, a storm struck us. Not a natural storm, of course. That would be too convenient for the journey. A demon's energy surrounded the boat, and the druid couldn't dispel it. The group began to have a madness overcome them. While not all succumbed to the spirits, the ones that did, well, they took their own lives, and the demons possessed their abandoned body. Luckily, the cleric was able to save us from a particularly brutal fight. I believe he called the technique Turn Undead. It's a bursting technique, and on a ship the size that we were on, it struck every corpse on the deck. As I reflect on the journey, I feel an obligation of some sort to mention our encounter with Boblin the Goblin. I didn't recognize the small smelly green man, but the others did. He had been in the beast's stomach they escaped before I joined the party. He offered magic items for gold, or shinies as he put it, to the party.
I buy a musket. How do I shoot a musket? Why won't it fire?
You need to push the safety.
I would have figured it out. You would not have.
See, I'm the greatest weapons master there ever was, and the lizard folk agrees. We are such good buddies and pals. He cast a ward of silence over me and my big mouth. I wish I had better notes from healing the second tower, but I seem to have in a delirious state simply written, "Dead horse, heal the tower, and what are you wearing?" I believe there was a dead magic stone of some sort, and I had a small concussion I compensate for with magic. I also know that all but the paladin's horse weren't with us for the remainder of the journey, but I did manage to recover my military saddle. With the tower recovered, we set sail to the west over the north coast of the continent. Nasty region, particularly infected with undead. Many Cain worshippers need his magic fires simply to stay warm in the region, which is why dwarves are more common Cain followers as they live in the northern portions of Restus as well. So I doubt you're shocked that this was the moment the boat was destroyed. A tentacled arm shot through the water, gripping myself and the warlock. The warlock went into the monster's goal an instant later. I was lucky enough to get a few shots into the beast's flesh from my grappled possession. I heard a boom. I believe the warlock conjured a fireball from inside the squid's slimy throat. It didn't spit him out, and that's about the moment I noticed it was undead. It began flinging the crew off the deck. Tyrus the Flame Knight, and first enemy to beat us to a pulp, died as his metal armor sunk into the sea. Then I joined him. However, as I shot into the air, I wisely released the koboldlings I gathered, safely landing back on the...
Are you fibbing?
Okay, I forgot about the wings because several weeks has passed since I acquired them. I skipped into the water hard and fast like a skipping stone, remembered I couldn't swim, and just to spite me, the fates fed a critical fumble into my bow arm. I shot with triple disadvantage at the Kraken, and just barely landed a single shot. As I gasped for breath, I muttered the arcane word for thorn. The boat hadn't stopped moving, and the Kraken moved with it. Moving with thorns should have cut its blubber to threads. I was punished for my arrogance an instant later, when the legendary monster performed a second action in the round, tearing off the vine. Unfortunately, that wasn't my most pressing problem. As I sank beneath the waves, I heard another boom. The back of the monster blew open. That bloody warlock was about to outlive me. I was 30 feet underwater then. I suppose this was always how my adventure was going to end. 80 years of fighting undead, and an undead kills me. Then I felt a pull. The lizard man stabbed his harpoon through my cloak, pinning me to the side of the ship just high enough to breathe before going after the firemancer. I crawled onto the deck and saw the non-exceptional crew were gone. The druid in particular was heartbroken when the kobolds were lost somewhere in the salted grave of endless fishermen that went before. Of course, demons are poor losers. Whatever magic was left in the beast conjured a lightning storm, which split the already damaged boat in twain. We rushed to the rowboat, and somehow the paladin managed to fit his horse aboard. As we rolled away,
I'm still not impressed.
I shot the monster while I was also drowned.
I didn't see it.
Thorns sprouted.
Has anyone actually seen these techniques you're talking about?
I have killed so many skeletons with bursting arrows.
How often can you do that?
Twice an hour.
I have killed dozens more skeletons.
In card thoughts, my book is done completely. It's slotted for release on the 15th, depending on when the cover art I commission finishes. I might have finished an overview video and some advertisements. This is by far the highest quality anything I've ever produced, and I hope you can spare a moment to look at it.